Democracy is messy sometimes, but it is our system. This conference that you see, this House Republican majority, is united.
Mr. Johnson, you helped lead the efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Will you share your
Next question.
You support additional aid to Ukraine? You've asked your question.
You asked your question. Go away.
Oh my God!
What did she say? By the way, who is that?
Okay, I found
Virginia Fox for North Carolina.
North Carolina?
Yeah.
A nasty little woman.
She's the meanest Republican.
I looked up there and I saw her say "shut up," and I said, "One,
so
right
rude.
away, the words of this are like another example of what people we can't say shut up in my house.
No,
like, my tongue.
by the way,
say, shut up.
it's a lack of decorum, and it's beneath the dignity of that
Sonny,
office
she gets
that
richer.
She
She voted against aid for Hurricane Katrina, opposes abortion. That one I'll forgive her. But how? Has been against every LGBTQ advancement, opposed the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd, voted against Don't Ask, Don't Tell. This woman sounds perfect
Wait a
for
second. The best part about her is that she serves as a chair of the Education Committee.
Oh.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. I promise that the soap opera drama is just about over. And today I think is the last time that I get to make a video about the Speaker of the House as if it's some sort of mystery. And hopefully the next time we talk about it, it's only about what a wonderful job that our new guy is doing. And guys, you know, really, this truly is just another example and another lesson to our Democrat friends that you get what you vote for every single time. And I'll explain what I mean in a minute. But guys, thanks so much to everyone that's been subscribing, everyone that's leaving such great comments. Really appreciate the support. If you haven't, help us continue to grow. Like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share the channel. So yeah. Just a little catch up in case you're just not really paying attention. Guys, no one really loved Kevin McCarthy. It's just that enough people felt that he had somehow earned the job, as if that's a job that you can even earn. I mean, how ridiculous is that? But anyway, so McCarthy made some promises that he didn't keep, especially to the Freedom Caucus. And Matt Gaetz made him pay for it. And the Democrats, they could have averted all of this by just commanding enough members to vote for McCarthy and keep the peace. And I honestly believe that if Nancy Pelosi were still the Speaker of the House, that is exactly what would have happened, because McCarthy, he was a guy that they could use, which honestly is exactly why he did not need to be Speaker of the House. There's no arguing that. No arguing that. But anyway, you guys saw the drama unfold. You saw it all. Now we have a speaker that most people have never heard of, but he's got a very, very conservative record, a very America First record, a very America First agenda. And he's a Trump MAGA Republican all the way. He's well-spoken. He's well-accomplished. He's a good man. You know, he's not just one of those members that chases TV cameras and chases headlines, but he's a member who's actually a strong legislator. You know, the guy, he's straight, he's white, he's male, he's Christian, he's a strong family man. He goes to a Baptist church. Basically, he's everything that the left hates, and he is a Democrat's worst nightmare. But honestly, if we expected them, meaning the Democrats, to just take the L and get back to work for the American people, it's not going to happen, man. Now the slander machine gets to dust itself off, and it's propaganda time. So pay very, very close attention to the other side, guys, because honestly, everything they say matters. And now they are calling this man a fascist because, get this, he referenced the Bible during his first speech as Speaker. And AOC says, of course, he's an election denier, as if that's an even real thing. Which, you know, it's just Democrat code for anyone who has or had any legitimate questions about the 2020 election. And the 2020 election only. Any other election, completely fine to question. Well, not any election. Any election that a Democrat does not win is completely okay to question. None of the others. But, you know, apparently pissing off the left is nothing new to Speaker Johnson. Here he is calling Pelosi, or for Pelosi to be arrested, among some of his other greatest hits. Take a look at this.
So you were obviously watching there at the State of the Union. When you saw the speaker rip the president's speech into pieces, did you take that as a sign of politeness, as an expression of kindness and friendship?
No, of course not. I mean, it was a shameful display. It was stunning, really, to many members sitting in the House. It was totally unprecedented. it was shameless, and it was also unlawful, Tucker. You know, a lot of people have been talking about this the last 48 hours, and I did a little legal memo to point out to my colleagues that she actually committed a felony when she tore that paper up. It wasn't just any copy of the State of the Union address. It was the copy, the original. And we have over 2 centuries of custom and tradition, and of course the Constitution that calls for the State of the Union address, that when the president delivers the copies to those top legal officers, the 2 top legislative officers in that co-equal branch of government, those are the official documents of the House. And if you tear those up, you violated a specific statute in the criminal code.
Mr. Chairman, I have a unanimous consent request.
Gentleman from Louisiana is recognized.
Seek unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter dated January 12, 2021 by Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, where he decries all political violence and calls for an end to that, and asks for respect for all political viewpoints.
Without objection.
Another thing we can examine because he's not here. Very good.
No, you can examine it. It's a document. He's going to
examine him for what he wrote and the intent behind what he said.
Well, I would just point out that that's unanimous consents are for documents, and we got the document right here that he handed to you.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous consent.
The chair now recognizes Ms. Wasserman Schultz for her 5 minutes.
I have a unanimous consent request, Mr. Chairman.
Pardon?
I have a unanimous.
Oh, okay. Gentlelady is recognized for unanimous consent request.
There's a new Speaker of the House. This is Mike Johnson. He represents Louisiana. He's a Republican and a part of the Christian right faction of the party. He has extremely close ties to Christian fundamentalist groups like Focus on the Family and the Alliance Defending Freedom. In fact, he used to be an attorney and the media spokesperson for the Alliance Defending Freedom. Johnson does not believe in climate change. He does believe in conversion therapy. He supported Donald Trump's ban on Muslim immigrants. And in 2019 and 2020, he served on Trump's legal counsel for the Senate impeachment trials. He has actively campaigned against the day of anti-bullying and campaigned for students to have the ability to pray out loud in class as part of their First Amendment rights.
Welcome to the car rant. I'm too angry to speak, so I figured it's a good time to do it publicly, right? I'm talking about the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, a guy who's only been in politics since 2016, a guy who helped engineer and sort of, you know, grease the wheels of Trump's attempted coup to overthrow a free and fair election on behalf of Donald Trump, right? A guy who's paid for many, many abortions in his lifetime of philandering and worse, right? A sexual predator, drug-addicted scumbag who's sitting in a New York City courtroom right now, mad mugging his lawyer because his lawyer's telling the truth about, you know, Trump's bullshit, you know, business operation that everybody just turned a blind eye to in New York City for decades, including NBC, who gave him a freaking TV show pretending he was a billionaire when we all knew that was anything but the truth. I worked on it. I saw it firsthand, okay? Trump is a joke and a clown. The GOP knows that, but these are extreme angry men. You know, this little Oliver Peoples wearing punk ass congressman now turned speaker is one of the most extreme anti-abortion people in this country, okay? He wants to arrest doctors who perform abortions to save a woman's life.
Guys, I mean, this honestly is probably the greatest possible outcome. You know, watching these people chase their own tails, especially in a situation that is fully and completely their fault. I mean, remember, you know, these were the people taking victory laps when Kevin McCarthy got fired. And I called it then. I knew something just like this would happen. But here's the thing, you know, I think for us to take a victory lap now would not be wise, right? We really don't know what the future holds. We really don't know what the machine is going to be able to do to this guy. So I say, if you're asking me, you know, we wait until he's actually done and passed some true conservative legislation and some true conservative agenda items before we start dancing on any leftist graves just yet. But one thing I can say, you know, as the left starts their final descent into meltdown, which I hope it's the last meltdown. It won't be, but that'd be great. It makes me feel like we've got the right guy. You know, they hate the guy, so that should tell us something. And apparently even Donald Trump likes the guy and believes in the guy as well, which makes completely nuking Tom Emmer look like a pretty solid chess move.
I just want to congratulate Mike Johnson. He will be a great Speaker of the House, and we were very happy to help. I've known him for a long time. He's a tremendous leader, a tremendous man, comes from a wonderful place, Louisiana. He's going to make us all proud. So at this time yesterday, nobody was thinking of Mike, And then we put out the word, and now he's the Speaker of the House. So I want to just thank all of the supporters that I have, and I want to thank all of the supporters that Mike has. And again, he'll be a great speaker. I think you're going to be very proud of him. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, so you see that. So yesterday, guys, I mentioned in the daily speaker video, which is basically what this feels like, what it's become. We talked about just the general stuff about this guy. I claimed that he had an 80% Liberty score. Apparently I was wrong. He's actually got a 74% Liberty score, which still is considerably more conservative than Kevin McCarthy. Not as conservative as some of the Gates allies and the Freedom Caucus. But I wouldn't even say the guy's middle of the road, though. He's healthily north of the middle, I believe. So let's see what our Democrat friends actually have to say about him.
When you look at today, you're about to go take this vote. There's these rumblings that maybe today they will have the numbers. What can you tell us about that? Obviously, you don't want to scoop yourself. We'll go follow it today. But what can you tell us about that, about your working relationship with their newest nominee, their potential speaker?
Well, Mike Johnson, who's their newest nominee, has a very pleasant demeanor in terms of how he communicates, but his voting record is as extreme as the most extreme members of their conference, with very few exceptions. And I think, what we'll see is that if they are able to get to the number they need to get to today, 217, that Mike Johnson is someone who, like Kevin McCarthy, like Steve Scalise, like Jim Jordan, voted to overturn the 2020 presidential election. That Mike Johnson, similar to all of those individuals, has a track record of trying to undermine Social Security and Medicare and end these incredibly important things that are connected to the fabric of our country, and end them as we know it. That Mike Johnson, probably more so than almost any other member of the House Republican Conference, wants to criminalize abortion care and impose a nationwide ban. So later on today, we'll make clear that we will continue to forcefully push back against that extremism.
So yeah, they are obviously excited. And let me know in the comments if you think Jeffries is ever going to admit his mistake on McCarthy, because he really truly did make a mistake. So, but anyway, so Johnson, he's been rated an F by the Democrats on Ukraine because he's voted against every Ukraine spending bill since his yes vote on the initial assistance. Voted an F by Democrats on democracy score, which is hilarious that is actually a grade for them considering who they really are. He objected to the 2020 election certification, and he helped Texas with their amicus brief. So the guy is fully focused on rooting out corruption from both sides, all sides. And he wants to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas, which, who doesn't? I mean, anyone who's reasonable. The border seems to be a major concern for this guy. Lots and lots of Louisianans are dying from fentanyl. And the guy really, he doesn't seek, here's what I like best about him. He doesn't seek out and run to the nearest TV camera anytime something happens. He just quietly goes about conservative business. But the machine would never allow someone that actually believes in impeaching Joe Biden to become the speaker, right?
Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution itself expressly states that the sole power of impeachment belongs here to this House. And then Article 2, Section 4 says, listen to the language carefully. It's expressly written in the Constitution. This is not political talking points. We're not making this up. It says in Article 2, Section 4 that the president shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. My friends, I just listed just a small sampling, just the tip of the iceberg of the credible allegations and the mounting evidence that shows that Joseph Biden has engaged in bribery schemes, pay-to-play schemes. This is what the evidence shows. We have to follow it. We took an oath to uphold the Constitution. The Constitution requires this action. The inquiry is the appropriate step. We have no choice to pursue the facts wherever they lead, and we will leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, this is who we're dealing with, guys. And I'd be lying if I told you that I wasn't excited. The Republicans, they only have a tiny bit of leverage, but I honestly think that this man can use it. And I'll share more thoughts on that in a moment. But first, listen to his acceptance speech on the floor of Congress. And Pay very, very special attention to Democrats' reactions. See if you pick it up.
And we're in a time of extraordinary crisis right now. And the world needs us to be strong. They need us to remember our creed and our admonition. Turmoil and violence have rocked the Middle East and Eastern Europe. We all know it. And tensions continue to build in the Indo-Pacific. The country demands strong leadership of this body, and we must not waver. Our nation's greatest ally in the Middle East is under attack. The first bill that I'm going to bring to this floor in just a little while will be in support of our dear friend Israel, and we're overdue in getting that done. We're going to show not only Israel, but the entire world that the barbarism of Hamas that we have all seen play out on our television screens is wretched and wrong, and we are going to stand for the good in that conflict. We have a catastrophe at our southern border. The Senate and the White House can no longer ignore the problem. From Texas to New York, wave after wave of illegal migrants are stressing our communities to their breaking points. We know that our streets are being flooded with fentanyl, and all of our communities, children, and even adults are dying from it. The status quo is unacceptable. Inaction is unacceptable, and we must come together and address the broken border. We have to do it. Skyrocketing cost of living is unsustainable, and Americans should not have to worry about how they're going to feed their family every week because they can't afford their groceries anymore. Everybody in this room should think about this. Here's the stats. Prices have increased over 17% in the last 2 years. Credit card interest rates are at the highest level in nearly 3 decades, and mortgage rates are now at a peak we haven't seen since 2001. We have to bring relief to the American people by reining in federal spending and bringing down inflation. The greatest threat to our national security is our nation's debt. And while we've been sitting in this room, that's right, the debt has crossed almost $33.6 trillion. In the time that it's going to take me to deliver this speech, we'll go up another $20 million in debt. It's unsustainable. We have to get the country back on track. Now, we know this is not going to be an easy task, and tough decisions will have to be made. But the consequences, if we don't act now, are unbearable. We have a duty to the American people to explain this to them so they understand it well, and we are going to establish a bipartisan debt commission to begin working on this crisis immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's that. I am excited, right? And if you didn't hear it or see it, Democrats, they initially booed when he spoke about Israel protecting herself, which is just probably another 50 videos worth of stuff to talk about right there. I honestly still can't believe what we're seeing from that side, guys. But anyway, this is where we are. This is the quarterback that we drafted, and now let's see what we can do. You know, again, I'm cautious. I don't think we should be taking any victory laps just yet. You know, we saw how long, you know, the Democrat McCarthy victory lap, we saw what, you know, how that backfired, how long that lap lasted. You know, now we get to see the kind of unity a unanimous first ballot gets us for the conservative cause. So yeah, I'm excited, guys. And that's just my take. Let me know your take in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are, if we picked the right guy, if you're excited. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.